I have half-functional autism. Well, I've got some pretty bad news for you.
GG Wargaming and
critics with censorship
monetize the game even after they charge for it.
pretty much falls apart after this.
You're right. Understand the algorithm?
Company full of microtransactions.
Hello everyone, welcome to Wallst Weekly, the non-weekly show where I cover various news pertaining to the stupid and the immoral, and occasionally delve into areas that deserve praise and enthusiasm. Today the topic is the test server changes to the T54, T44-100, T54 first prototype, and the Object 140 and the Batchat. Very exciting changes, and I can't wait to cover them in great. They know! Quick! Equip the invisible helmet! Grandad, you man never stopped sighing, you old prune! I've been working all the railroads all the little long day, and I've been working all the railroads. Yeah, I'm sorry about him. He's one of the rejects. See, I've just perfected a cloning process whereby I take my characteristics and my emotions and I clone them into multiple different manly me's, if you like. I'm Factual Wallst. I'm here to bring you up to speed on the matter, the topic at hand, unpolluted by my frequently all too bleak opinion. I simply convey to you what is, how it is. And here to help me today I have Angry Wolf! Back off! Okay, he's never mind. Now, let's look into what travesty is being proposed here. We'll look into potential Russian bias later. So, remember, all of these are super test stats, right? They are liable for change before they see the live or even the public test servers. So, in the proposed patch 9.20, the Batchat is being put into HD. It's next in a long line of updated tank models over the last year or so, and it looks to me like it's actually being made smaller. You can make your own judgments on the aesthetical preferences that you may or may not have for it, but I'm not sure if the changes will actually affect the hitbox and therefore the in-game performance, the profile of the vehicle. I don't know. On to the meat of the changes. The hit points are staying at 1000 E100. Yes. Hit points are staying at 1800. That is joint lowest on any of the tier 10 mediums, with the Czech TVP T5051 also having 1800. No changes that I can see to the general mobility of the vehicle. They all lie in the gun performance. The gun, formerly a 105D1504, is being changed, obtaining characteristics that I'd liken to the 100mm of the Russian mediums, the 100mm SA-47 on the 5100 or the 40T. Its alpha damage is dropping from 390 down to 300, and its pen is going down from 259 on the standard to 252 on the standard, and 330 on premium down to 278. Its clip is going from 5 shells to 6, and its reload drops from an even 40 seconds to 34. Shell delay falls to 2.4, and it was formerly 2.73, in line with the other French 100mm autoloaders such as the 5100 or the 40T. The gun also sees boosts in its accuracy from 0.38 to 0.36, and its aim time is going down from 2.7 to 2.5. This means in layman's terms is your clip potential is going down from 1950 to 1800, and the time it takes to unload a clip is now up from 13.65 seconds to 14.4. Now you may be asking yourself why, as I did when first hearing of these changes, but reading here, the objective is to make it different from its heavy tank counterpart. Get the heck out of it! Alrighty guys, Opinion Wallst here, the best kind of Wallst. I'm just gonna get this out right now. Why? Thank you, needed that. Okay. Nerfs. Nerfs to an incredibly high skill cap tank, utterly butchering, prohibiting this vehicle from getting its often untapped potential. Why? To make it different from this. I'm gonna tell you why this is so asinine. Alright? Because at first, I thought, okay, why are they just making it into another TVP? Same alpha damage, autoloader, tier 10 medium tank, but they're not. I was completely wrong. They're making it worse. Much, much worse. See, tier 10 is a competitive playing field, right? It's a fierce playing field. You got a lot of very, very responsive tanks. TVP, T50s and heavy Green 15. There's all tanks that will punish you heavily for mistakes. Maybe not the Green 15 so much, but the Batchat is categorized among these responsive tanks. And it can be incredibly powerful, but that does not mean it is overpowered. And I want to make that clear, the Batchat is not overpowered. You know what is overpowered? Autoloaders! In general, as a concept, by nature of what they are. If I'm sat in my T110E5 tier 10 American heavy tank and some fat-ass train carriage looking blue bitch comes up behind me, unloads 1,800 damage into my ass, I might have some complaints. They are overpowered because of the potential that they hold, which is so drastically divergent from standard tanks. Well, they were, or they should be. But see, now you have the TVP. Now you have the T50s and heavy. Now we have the Skoda T25. These are tanks with autoloaders that have such negligible reloads that is literally not enough time to counter them unless you are right there, right in their face. And most of the time in that situation, TVP, you will just run away anyway. And the T50s and heavy has the highest base DPM on any tier 10 heavy in the entire game by a significant margin, and it puts out 1,600 damage in a clip, reloads in 25 seconds at the most. It will reload whilst in combat with you and kill you. Autoloaders are overpowered. That concept is clear as day, even without wargaming perverting the concept, minimalising all the weaknesses in the shallow, cretinous hope of catering to every single player. The Batchat is not so much. It's one of the few tanks in the entire game that perfectly encapsulates what an autoloader should be. Good, big potential to swing the tide of battle, pick a moment, pick an engagement and do it, and then a long reload. That is not a bad thing. If people aren't good enough to get the most out of that, to prepare for that, to think ahead even a little bit, then don't ruin it for those who are. It is not a bad thing to have a challenging tank, a tank that demands a bit of skill, a little bit of forethought. And yet that information seems lost on wargaming. Like, why would you change the alpha damage? 390 to 300. Batchat players, you all hear me on this one. You know how important your health is in the Batchat. How carefully you want to think before trading a shell with your opponent. Because your potential in the Batchat, in the autoloaders as well, but especially in the Batchat, your potential increases as the durability of your opponent decreases. And those little poking shots that make it worth the slight risk are now pittance. The fact that you could poke across 390 to alpha damage with that quick little peek with the mobility of the Batchat isn't there now. And although your shell delay is shorter, and I really thought that would be the saving grace of these changes, but it's offset and overshadowed by the lack of potential clip damage. Going from 1,950 to 1,800 is huge at this level. That's the difference between not killing an enemy medium tank and not killing it. And so much of your gameplay in the Batchat is spent finding positions to ambush, to make a quick engagement and mitigate damage taken. That's harder now. Because of the new gun, you have to expose yourself for even longer to do even less damage. And it's only as close as it seems because of the extra shell. How many situations do you find yourself in a medium tank fight where you're happy to sit around for 14.4 seconds out in the open? If you only have 5 or 6 seconds to make a peak, what would you rather have, the 105 or the 100mm? Let's say you get off 2 shots with each. This patch, you've done 780 damage. Next patch, you've done 600. This is accentuated all through the clip until both tanks unload and the current chat finishes with 1950 damage, and the next chat futilely, pathetically splotters out the rest of its nauseating potential like a plague victim coughing up phlegm. I'm going to do a U-turn here, quickly. I'm going to talk about a shining glimmer of hope in this dark void of failure, which is this. Pen reduction. I'm not a fan in any light of the reduction of the standard shell pen, but seeing premium shells get nerfed always moves something deep within me. I've never been a fan of the idea that medium tanks should have this easy button for engaging enemy heavy tanks frontally, so pen nerfs to heat shells, or removing heat shells completely, is a yes from me. Well, it would be, if there was any sign whatsoever of Wargaming planning to do anything of the sort to their precious Russian medium tanks. You feckers. Okay, opinion-wallst, I think that's enough for now, right? Okay, so he's not happy about the changes, but, I mean, from a logical point of view, they're not that bad. Right, Angry Steve? F*** Wargaming. Oh, my God. Anyway, we're going to look at the super test changes to the Russian mediums, particularly the T-44, the T-54, and the Object 140. Now, starting with a brief overview of these changes, the most part they're tailored towards is the turrets of these vehicles, increasing their armour across the board. So, start low and go up the tiers. The T-44 and the T-44-100, the T-44 Mod 1 or first prototype, are all receiving buffs to their effective turret armour, with the sides reaching effective armour of 338mm and the gun mantling increasing from 190 to 200. As you can see, this image specifies that it's only true for the 44 and the 44-100. As for the T-44 Mod 1, it already boasts around 220mm of effective turret armour, so I'm left to wonder what the proposed changes are to that. We don't know at the moment. Also, the LB1 gun, host of that famously oppressive grind on the stock T-54 to get that top gun, is being buffed, which affects its stats on both the T-44 and the T-44-100, and of course the T-54 as well. Its aiming time is being cut by 0.2 seconds, and it's suggested that there will be changes to the soft stats of the gun to increase its effectiveness while moving. It's worth noting that the less popular gun, the high alpha D2544, is getting some love too, with an accuracy buff of 0.1, aim time decrease of 0.2, and a huge decrease in loading time of 4 seconds. That is huge. Now, onto the T-54. It's receiving huge buffs to the front of its turret, enabling it to rival the Object 430 version 2, which always has had a superior turret, if only lacking in gun depression. The two main guns on the vehicle are receiving some hefty changes. For your benefit, this is the gun the majority of players will use on the vehicle, the D10T2S. That is the preferred gun vast majority of people because it has better stats in almost every regard apart from penetration, which most drivers countered with the use of heat ammo. And this is the gun that everyone laughed at, the D-54. Not so anymore. The D10T2S is receiving heavy nerfs to its accuracy, going from an adequate 0.35 to a horrendous 0.39. And that accuracy is only 0.01 better than the E100's 150mm. Its aim time is going from 2.3 to 2.5, leaving the rate of fire, which is to be buffed by 0.4 of a second. With regard to the D54, in stark contrast, it's getting a dispersion buff of 0.06, taking it up to 0.23 accuracy, which is great. Its aim time's being buffed hugely from 2.9 to 2 seconds, but it takes a hit in its reload of 0.3 seconds, further increasing the already disconcerting DPM difference between the two guns. Now, continuing, the Object 140, powerful Tier 10 medium, by anyone's words, is receiving similar buffs to its predecessors. Its turret armor, well known for a weak roof with overmatched locations and cupolas, is being heavily strengthened. Although we don't have the exact details, but it's said to be up to the level of the T62A. That is all from me. I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Opinion.wallst. Bye. I really don't even know where to start with this one. Angry Steve? He's incredibly misunderstood. Anyway, T-44, a tank long considered the patriarch of mediocrity, playing host perfectly personifying the petulant plight of Tier 8 mediums as a species. I'm pleased, truly, to see some buffs that look to turn it from a occasional annoyance to optimal contender. That's really genuinely good stuff. But then wargaming just kept going, didn't they? Like a drunk hobo given a £20 note, they just didn't think for 5 seconds, just climaxed Russian bias all over whatever part of the tech tree was nearby. I'm not sure if the changes to the gun are some thinly veiled way to cover up the fact that they're senselessly buffing the tank of a debatably overpowered medium. I don't know. I mean, they say about the D102 T2S gun on T4 that the accuracy changes will force people to play a more aggressive style, more in line with how a medium range support tank should be played. No! No, it won't! It will force people to fire more heat to compensate for the inability to hit weak spots with a tank that already has mediocre pen. The ludicrous levels of naivety displayed by these changes in this article are stunning. You want to encourage people to get up and fight. Well, now you've made it a source of endless frustration to do so, where your shells will miss half the time, even fully aimed, further perpetuating the premium ammo problem that's become more and more illuminated as of late. Let me just go and pen a Defender with 0.39 accuracy, an AMX M449, a Patriot, a Chrysler. I don't get the point. Then you've got the other gun, right, which is a perfect answer to these problems, but it still has premium ammo. It's lacking DPM, but I want this gun to be played as a long-distance sniper with better accuracy. I don't know if you've ever played this game. How much luck do you think you're going to have sniping with 219mm of AP pen? I ain't going to be sniping with this gun. I want to get up there and fight. Alright, so I have a choice. Get outclassed in DPM or just constantly miss. Or I push the 2 key. And while suddenly the accuracy doesn't seem so bad. These changes just make wargaming seem like they have their head buried so far up their own ass, so prodigiously shunted in the direction of their own wallets that they either can't or won't see that these changes will do nothing to help the real issue. It does not matter what you do to a gun. As long as you have that looming threat of this pay-to-win 2-key bullshit that can at any moment absolutely reform the playstyle of the vehicle, you have not done your job right, and you're not hitting home with the new issue. And I've kindly overlooked the fact that they're buffing a tank that no one who is in any way informed or enlightened has ever complained about needing a buff. That includes the 140. Not one person who has experience with that tank has ever unironically stated that it needs a buff. And I don't care about the gibbering squabble of 140 Rampage victims telling you it needs a nerf either. In my opinion, the current meta, 140's fine, heat shells aside. But the one thing it didn't need was a goddamn buff! Like, my god, what are you doing? The dynamic of the tier 10 Lasher medium tanks works. The 140 and T62A, the contrast between them is good. One gets gun depression and increased mobility. One gets better gun stabilization and turret armor. Now, they're taking one of the categorical advantages of the T62A and smoothing the line between it and the 140, and at the same time they make both tanks somehow feel more generic and samey. You might have noticed I didn't include the Object 430 in my statement about good dynamic, and that's because 430, in my opinion, simply isn't a good medium tank. The reason being, it's far too situational. It will have the same problem that the T54 with the D102T2S will have. It's far too situational. It has the highest DPM on any tier 10 medium tank, but it simply cannot effectively transfer that DPM to the enemy due to lack of gun stabilization or lack of accuracy. Unless it loads heat, in which case it doesn't have to worry about aiming for small weak spots and is a good tank. I really hope you guys can see what I'm seeing here. These changes are completely unnecessary, and they don't seem to have been done with any form of objective in mind that actually makes sense. It's done once again against the wishes of a vast portion of the fan base. I mean, you agree with me, like Angry Wolves? Yeah. Oh. Oh, Steve, no! Thank you so much for watching, gents. Let me know your thoughts on the episode. Tell me of any other topics you'd like me to cover. And until next time, farewell.